Here I stand.
It will be my pleasure to
Who
face
says a
you in
woman
this
has to
glorious
be
battle.
weak?
Cut down all.
Face me.
guys ready
This
for
ought to be
Don
fun.
Mayer?
No one's
Slay
getting
as many
past
officers as
I dare
necessary.
you to
my
try
life
best me and my bow.
Tiger
Stick to the blade and the
So, we've done Shu, we've done Wei. Now, front and center, we've got the red-headed middle child of the family, Wu, to judge. And this time, I'm going to dissect whether or not Wu is underrated. As a kingdom that flies under the radar, do they really deserve to be the lower of the three kingdoms? Well, from their track record and unfortunate luck, I would say yeah, kinda, but they're most certainly underrated for sure, in my opinion. So for me, as a content creator and fan of the series, obviously Wu is among the lowest of the three kingdoms in terms of, I don't know, general stats and characters and impact on the three kingdoms. It would be them at the bottom, while Wei and Shu, it's kind of more their show versus, you know, Wu in the corner just watching it happen. Wu's got a variety of colorful and great characters, but they get stymied because of the loss of some of their best characters. The Sun family losing their two best players in the beginning isn't the best start to a kingdom, along with losing Zhou Yu relatively early as well. Big blows out the gate for them, along with being succeeded by Sun Quan, who almost can be argued as indecisive and passive as Yuan Shao, and we all know how that ended.
What's that?
But that doesn't take away from the core cast of Wu characters being really, really cool, and I think that's why they're mainly underrated. It's mainly from the in-game personification of these remaining core Wu characters that I think get a lot of fly under the radar moments, maybe because they don't have as many feats or they don't really do as much, and who's to say if that's really their fault, or maybe, in my opinion, they were a little underutilized. Even though it can be argued that the Three Kingdoms is a showdown between Wei and Shu, mostly, you still gotta put respect on a lot of the characters from Wu because they have just really cool characters. I mean, half of my top 10 characters are Wu, and I'm not even a Wu fanboy, or at least not anymore. They just got some really cool characters. I think also Wu suffered from a similar problem with Shu in that, again, they just didn't really utilize their solid group of generals that they had in the best way possible. A lot of stagnant years for them and moments, and I mean, they had some big wins and they had some big moments, but it always seemed to either cost them more or they didn't capitalize it like even further. For example, with Fawn Castle, they lose Lu Meng to sickness, right? So they break off the treaty with Shu. They do their pincer attack. Lu Meng, is rushing to get it done because in the games he's dying. They, kill Guan Yu. They get Jing province back, but they lose Lu Meng after losing Zhou Yu, after losing Lu Su. And then Lu Xun takes over from there, but it just seems like when it's going good for Wu, that's when they lose like their best people, and then on top of that, they don't capitalize it on anything else. After Fawn Castle 219, they wait for 3 years to get attacked by Shu, right? They got Jing province back, sure, but why not get ready to advance further? Like, why not take advantage of that? I mean, I get that if Wu helped destroy Shu with Wei, obviously Wu would have been next, but to do nothing, I just didn't really see the point of doing it in the first place. And then moving on to the Battle of Yiling 3 years later, coming with a fury, vengeance, avenging Guan Yu and trying to, absolutely eradicate Wu, they end up getting a great win, but they lost a great character in Gan Ning. Like, it just didn't seem worth it. And then after winning the Battle of Yiling, instead of advancing territory or maybe taking over Shu and making it, a huge battle between Wu and, Wei or whatever it may be, they accept a peace treaty with Shu and completely halt any progress to the southwest anymore. So it's like, what else can you do? And then, of course, before the Battle of Fawn Castle, they try to do the Battle of Hefei, and I don't think they lost anybody notable, but they didn't make any significant gains. I mean, Zhang Liao rips through 100,000 of your men and you can't do nothing. And then you're so scared that when you go back for a battle of Rushiku or the second battle of Hefei or whatever you want to call it, you can't even make an advance because a sick Zhang Liao is still at the border looking at you from atop a mountain. So it's just, for Wu, I think they fly under the radar or have the medal of being the quote-unquote worst of the three kingdoms, is because anytime they had momentum, they could not capitalize on it. Or anytime that they had somewhat of an advantage, Hefei with a huge advantage, they got steamrolled. And then from there, that was just a scar that just wasn't going to heal until, Zhang Liao passed away. Even if you look at the Battle of Chirbi, the indecisiveness to fight back, I mean, if Sun Quan didn't have Zhou Yu and Lu Su, what would have happened? It just seems that after Sun Ce conquered everything on that, southeastern corner of China, Sun Quan didn't, he was just staying home. He was in the pocket. He wasn't doing nothing right? He got Jing Province back after the Battle of Fawn Castle, but that didn't do much. You get the Battle of Yiling, you got a nice win, and then what? That's it. What else happened after that? Just a couple of battles of Rushiku. I honestly don't even know what else happened after that. Hefei Castle? Okay, Hefei Castle battle. Doesn't go well for Wu again. You know, you get the rebellion with Juge Dan 20 years after that. What? I can't even think of any other battles that happened that's significant for them. Another battle of Rushiku? I don't know. But besides all of that bad stuff, again, the cast that makes up Wu in the games are pretty cool. And, you know, you got Zhou Tai, probably the most badass character from the game, is a part of Wu. I mean, this guy has scars all over him and runs in to rescue the clueless and probably not the best leader in Sun Quan, you know, on a multitude of times, and lives. Sun Quan is lucky to have someone like Zhou Tai on his team, and his in-game personification just helps him out even more. You know, you got Gan Ning, same thing. He's another badass character in a totally different way. Right, he's got the tattoos, he's got the bells, he's got the, when he had his sword, and you know, just his personality and the way he is. I mean, he's a really badass character. Not somebody you want to underestimate. Huang Gai is a really dope character. Zhou Yu and Lu Xun are awesome. Sun Jian and Sun Ce, before they obviously got killed, were goated, along with Sun Changzhang. Great characters. You know, Taishi Ce is a hella underrated character, along with some of the other later Wu characters. They had tons of good characters, but they just didn't utilize them in the best way possible. Also, again, a lot of unfortunate luck with losing their best players in the beginning. You lose Sun Jian, you lose Sun Ce, you lose Zhou Yu. That's rough. That's a rough start to a kingdom, because imagine if those three were still alive for a significant portion up until the Battle of Chirpi. Oh, I don't know. History could have been a lot different. I mean, it probably would have been a hell of a lot different. So the underrated ranking for me for the Kingdom of Wu comes from the fact that they had a ton of great characters, but they just underutilized them in the sense that any attempt after Sun Ce died for Wu to do something substantial, it always fell flat. Like, honestly, after the Battle of Yiling, what happens for Wu? They honestly don't do anything until the fall in the end. Do they really do anything else substantial? I really don't think after the Battle of Yiling they do anything else. They just stay home and they maintain their domestic policies for a while. They attempt a few attacks every now and then, but for the most part they kind of just wait until the end, and by the time they got attacked, I mean, it was pretty much the end for them anyway. So in conclusion, for this little short video for the Wu Kingdom, I would say yes, Wu is underrated in terms of the characters they have, but equally rated as being the lowest or least impactful of the three. Once Sun Ce conquered that lower corner, that was pretty much a wrap for Wu. From that time up until Yiling, they had some decent moments, but after Yiling, there ain't much else. There ain't much else for Wu. So yeah, that's all I really have for the video here. Short, sweet, simple, nothing too crazy. Had to do one for Wu to wrap up this little mini series. We did Shu, we did Wei. I had to do Wu, and I think for them, they definitely fly under the radar for most of the fan base, but I think their characters is really what carries them into them being 100% underrated in my opinion. But anyway guys, that's all I have for the video. Let me know down below what you guys think about the Kingdom of Wu. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, definitely appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.